morning. We are probably, 6-7 hours away from the end of this transfer window, and the uncertainty that we've had throughout this transfer window is probably compounded as we go into the last few. We'll talk about Jaden Sancho and where that went all wrong. There's more and more details coming out, and I think there will be a lot more details coming out about Jaden Sancho over the next coming days and weeks in relation to what went wrong. Welcome to just a little bit of an update on this transfer deadline day. The Dembele deal will not die. Some of you will be quite happy about that. I don't know where I am at the moment. Look, I'm going to be live at 6 o'clock doing the transfer deadline show all the way through till midnight tonight. So we're going to have plenty of chance to talk there. Flex is live at the moment. We've been live all day with the transfer deadline show. This is just a mini update on where we're at, just to summarise. With Dembele, I just don't know. I don't know. I just said, look, I told my daughter, we just picked her up from school about Ahmed Traore. And she said, I'm really pleased for him, 18 years of age, and he's got his dream move to Manchester United. That's a good news story, isn't it? And I just went, yeah, the innocence of youth. Literally the innocence of youth. I just said, yes, it is. And then I went around the corner and screamed loudly because, this transfer window is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Thomas Partey is going to go to Arsenal. Manager's being backed. But look, Dembele is where we're at the moment. Partey to Arsenal is an incredible signing, says Rafa. It is. I can only applaud clubs that back their manager. But we've been seeing it all summer. You can't feel any more despair than we're feeling right now as United fans. We've been beaten 6-1, we've been beaten 3-1, we've had a crap start to the season, our team's playing crap, and then we've done nothing in the transfer market. It's a recipe for disaster, isn't it? Ousmane Dembele to Manchester United looks like the only real right-wing option we've got at this moment in time. There's talk of Ismail Sarr. We're in the desperation camp as it is. Do we want to jump into the desperation sea and start trying to grab Brooks and Sarr? I mean, we're desperate. We're absolutely desperate. And I think I need to get my head around how desperate we are. There's a truth around Jaden Sancho, what's happened. There's a lot of people who don't really understand how this has gone wrong. Effectively, Manchester United have put themselves into a position with Dortmund where if they offered 120 million euros now, they would get told to piss off. So the reason that final bid from United, that last-ditch bid that people expected hasn't gone in, is because Dortmund have basically said, we will not accept any bid from you. We told you the deadlines, we told you when to do it, and you ignored it, and you've drawn it out, thinking we would cave in, thinking that we would take the bid whenever you wanted to pay it, and we won't. You've messed around with the wrong team here. We're not Leicester, we're not Sporting Lisbon, we're an experienced football club in selling and buying players, and we'll take our chances next summer because we ain't being played by you. So United basically, with Sancho, have got the money. For whatever reason, they had this strategy to wait till the end of the transfer window and pay the money. And maybe they were waiting to the end of the transfer window because it's wages saved, it's more money in the bank, it's the third quarter or the fourth quarter of the financial year. United, for whatever reason, had a strategy with Sancho to push it to the end of the window. They've even got Jaden Sancho not training. They were so confident that they would get this deal done at the end, offer the money that Dortmund wanted. Sancho wants to come and the deal happens. But they pissed off the wrong club. Dortmund have basically said, you know what you can do with your bid. I don't care whether Sancho's training or not. He'll be training in a couple of weeks because he's got nowhere else to train. We're not taking your money. Forget about it. So United's whole summer strategy, which was Jaden Sancho, which was this big significant signing that Solskjaer wanted, that the player wanted. Their whole big plan has crumbled like a birthday cake in a rainstorm. And the cakes do crumble in a rainstorm. So that's the truth. That's where we're at. United have got the money. We've seen the evidence of the money in the last couple of days. 20 million on a washed up Cavani, 25 million plus add-ons and an 18-year-old who's never really played senior football. We're chucking money around trying to get Dembele right now. We've got the money. The strategy of the Sancho deal has fallen apart because Dortmund are considerably better than us at negotiating. They've got people who know about football. They've got a sporting director. They've got a plan. We've got no plan and no idea, and we've embarrassed ourselves. So the victim in this is you. The victim in this is Solskjaer. The victim in this is Sancho. And that's where we're at with it. I mean, look, miracles could happen, but I think Dortmund have made an example of Manchester United. They've just basically said, you are an inept joke of a football club, and you will not play us like you play everybody else with your tight, take it to the end of the transfer window strategy. Forget it. And, If I wasn't a Man United fan, I would say fair play to Dortmund, because they've absolutely owned Manchester United. I mean, if I was Ed Woodward, I'd almost retire. I think Dortmund have basically retired Ed Woodward and Matt Judge. They took Haaland offers, they took Bellingham offers, and now they've deprived of Sancho. Borussia Dortmund have absolutely destroyed Ed Woodward and his band of stupid negotiators. And that's the truth. So we played a game with Dortmund and we lost. And all of you and I knew this would happen. They had to have a better plan than last day of the transfer window, there's your money. They had to, and they didn't do it. They ignored the deadline that Dortmund set up and said they didn't believe the Dortmund deadline. And they paid the price, and we paid the price, definitely, as fans. So, where does that leave us? Ousmane Dembele. Would you approve of signing Emmanuel Adebayor for 150k a week? I've always liked him, says Edward. Does he still play football? Regardless, Mark, you still said 90%. That's on you. Are you still 90%, says Ivano? Mate, if that's meant to try and wind me up, you won't be winding me up today. The whole point of 90% is that there's 10% chance it doesn't happen. And I think anybody with a brain knows why some Manchester United fans were very confident about this deal, and many journalists, because there were so many components pointing towards a deal. And the sad thing for me is that we will always know that Jaden Sancho should have been a Manchester United player. The number 7 shirt is free. You know, everything was there apart from somebody who could negotiate a transfer deal. And unfortunately, we have to accept that. And, you know, I'm very sad about it. I'm very upset about it. But it's got nothing to do with me why this deal didn't happen, and it's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with Jaden Sancho, and it's got nothing to do with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's got everything to do with these prats who run our football club. And, you know, I'll feel that loss. I'll feel that humiliation way more than the prats who are responsible. So, you know, whatever. The board really is filled with crap, Mark. The board does not have pride and does not want to be successful on the pitch. Really heartbroken, says Girish. You said if we thought Sancho wasn't coming, it was a guess, and you were 90% sure it was coming. It was never a guess. He wasn't coming. It was based on past experience of this board and Woodward, says Richard Stainer. Well, it was a guess, mate. You know, you don't know anything about what was going on in that football club. You weren't negotiating the deal, so you were guessing. As much as anybody's guessing. You know, I can say that Bruno Fernandes is going to score a penalty because he scores all of them. He might miss, you know. It's one of those. If you want to take a victory in the fact that United have been humiliated, embarrassed because of the people that run this football club, you go and have a pint, mate. Go and celebrate it. We're all losers in this. You know, if you want to lash out and blame somebody, this is what This is exactly what happens in our fan base, by the way. This is why we will never remove the Glazers, because instead of looking at who's really to blame, we'll argue amongst ourselves. And I refuse to get into that, Richard. I refuse to. Who wins when you start arguing amongst yourselves? I mean, is this not the thing you learnt at kindergarten or playground? Look at the real blame here. Our club's been eroded and destroyed for 15 years, and it's getting worse. But let's all have an argument amongst ourselves. Did I negotiate the Sancho deal? No. If I did, he'd be a Manchester United player. Did you negotiate it? No. If you did, he'd be a Manchester United player. Don't start arguing with me because it's not happened. It's not happened because of Ed Woodward and whoever negotiated that deal. Sancho wanted it to happen. United wanted it to happen. Solskjaer wanted it to happen. We had the money to make it happen. We messed up. We played a game of poker against somebody we didn't think had a full house, and they did. Mark, even with the Glazers here, we'd still be infinitely better if Gill was still our CEO, says Green Grits. Everett's face showed exactly where our club's board is. Again, we're seeing scattergun transfer tactics, no clue, and begging out of favour players to join, says Dave Davis. My heart pains so much to see my team fail for Ed's ego for not caving into Dortmund's demands to look like he knows everything, says Shravan. I'm not blaming you. I'm saying I never trusted this board, says Richard. And that's exactly it. And I understand that. And I think Flex was like that. But I still believed that it would happen. But you were right. You were right. And I, you know, I wish you weren't right, because I really want this football club to succeed. And you know, I remember when we didn't get Ronaldinho and I was gutted. I was absolutely gutted. But this is going to be worse because, you know, we've basically destroyed Jaden Sancho's dream as well. You know, whatever you say, he was desperate to come to us. Both United and Arsenal snuffed up Hossein Aouar, and Sancho will end up at Liverpool next season, says Husam. Yeah, we won't see him in a United player. I'm jealous of Arsenal, says Abraham Lincoln. Partey is a quality player. They have a DM now who won't be bullied. They finally have a spine. They're fourth for me. Now that you know that Sancho is not coming, do you think that getting Dembele is a good move, or do you prefer Sarr? Says Christian. I do want to talk about Dembele. Flex, answer this for me, mate. Why have no credible journalists like Fabrizio have mentioned Sancho at all today? Equally, they have not dismissed it yet, says Andrew C. I'm not Flex, by the way. I'm still 90%. Come on, Mark. Let's go down fighting. What harm may come? Sancho in till midnight. Back me up here, mate, says Viniac. And if we weren't going to get Sancho, then why didn't we improve our back four? Can this inept board not see what the whole world does? Says Mark Judd. And has the Smalling deal to Roma happened? Says Mojo. So there's so much to talk about. This is why we've been live all day. Smalling hasn't gone to Roma yet. We haven't sold our best centre back yet. Madness. We've still got 3 goalkeepers who are on a massive amount of money, and on Dembele, the Dembele situation is that it's been unlikely, but it is now looking more likely because Manchester United are desperate. Ousmane Dembele is open to coming to Manchester United now because of the money, and Barcelona are looking at letting us have him on loan if we pay them a fee for the loan and we pay all his wages. Now, most loan deals, you will pay half the wages. So Manchester United are saying that they'll pay all of Ousmane Dembele's wages. They'll give Barcelona a fee for us to have him on loan for a year. And what will probably happen is we'll have an option to buy as well. So Ousmane Dembele is a very desperate deal. At this stage, with 7 hours of the transfer window left, would I take Ousmane Dembele? If it's Ousmane Dembele or Ismail Sarr, I can't give you an answer. We need a right winger. I can't believe I'm having this conversation at 4 o'clock on transfer deadline day. But I have to stick to my guns and say I don't think Ousmane Dembele is worth any money. I don't. I wish he was. I wish I could say he was. But I know what I know. And you can know that as well. Over the last year, he's had 2 massive injuries. He's hardly played. He came back from one in February, and 2 days later he got another one and was out till August. He's massively injury prone. I've heard people saying, well, it's because of the way he's trained at Barcelona. But we've got a crap medical system. So I think we're just going to buy somebody who's injured a lot. The Premier League is relentless. Like, you play, because of COVID, you play more football than ever, and it was relentless. You play him 3 times a week. What, and you could say, well, we just don't need to play him every game, but then what? Why buy him? We need a Jaden Sancho. We need a top class right winger now who plays most games. I don't think Ousmane Dembele can do it. And also, that's just his injury record. What about his attitude? What about his, he's flopped at Barcelona. I don't want the deal, but I actually understand why people do want the deal, because we're in that better than nothing, let's be desperate. And I think that, to me, is the sin. The sin is, and forget Sancho, the sin is we're in the last few hours of the transfer window doing dangerous things. We did this in January. Ighalo, we started off at Josh King in the morning, Rondon in the early afternoon, and Ighalo by tea time. We started off this morning wanting Dembele on loan. We're now going to pay them to let us have him on loan and pay all his wages. Give it a couple of hours, he'll be on a 5-year deal on 350k a week, and we'll be paying Barcelona 80 million for it. So I'm worried about where this is going. I think what's basically happened with Dembele is it's just money, money, money. They're saying no, 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 and we just keep chucking more and more money at it until eventually Barcelona and Dembele say yes. And I think Dembele's saying yes now, and Barcelona aren't far off saying yes. But it's going to cost us a lot of money to do this deal, and I don't know. I mean, Watford have confirmed that they're in talks with Manchester United regarding Ismail Sarr. I mean, Ismail Sarr's not a bad player. He's not a bad player. He's not Jaden Sancho. And look, I hope if we do get Sarr, it really does work out. I don't want it to happen, but if it happens, I can't stop it from happening. It's a bad deal. I hope it works. I hope Dembele works. It's a bad deal. I hope Cavani works. It's a bad deal. We're doing a lot of bad deals. And the more bad deals you do, the higher the risk they won't work. It's desperate. Desperate deals don't work. Look at Ighalo. Everyone's like, it's a great deal after 3. You judge a transfer after 6 to 12 months. Everybody can have an initial bounce unless you're Pepe. But Ighalo had an initial bounce, and now he's the crap player that we thought he was. We're doing too many dangerous deals, and it does worry me. But I said to you before, the backup for Jaden Sancho should have been the lad at Newcastle or Adama Traore. both Premier League proven, both doing fantastically well in not top 6 clubs. They're the players that we should have gone for. The drop-off from Sancho to alternative is like jumping off a cliff. And it was always going to be a drop-off. He's one of the best players in the world for his position, available-wise. But Adama Traore, St Maximum are better than these players that we're looking at. So, again, the scouting and the options are terrible. But we'll see. We'll see what happens now. I think we're in that last area of it. And, you know, again, it looks like with Ismail Sarr, Watford only want to sell on a permanent deal. United want an initial loan for the winger. I mean, Ismail Sarr and loan, I can live with that. But it's not... it's not good. And of course, we can jump into a Poundland transfer window because we can buy Sarr for another week and a half because the Championship transfer deadline is in a week and a half. I just want it over today. If we're going to get Sarr, let's buy Sarr today. I don't want to wait another 2 weeks doing some Poundland Europa League transfer window talking about we're going to buy Sarr tomorrow. This is not a good deal. If you're going to do it, get it over and done with very quick because I don't want to have 2 weeks of messing around around this some sort of deal, and I'm sure none of us do as well. Is there any hope for Jaden Sancho? If Dortmund have said what I've said they've said, that they won't accept any deal, United could offer 200 million and they'll turn it down. Like, there is no deal we can do because we've just pissed them off. That's what we've done. We've played the game and it's backfired really badly. So it's not looking good. It's not. I mean, it's not good. It's not good in relation to that one. But I think there will be a sting in the tail of this transfer window, and I can't say any more than that. Remember, we are discussing all of this in depth on the United Stand throughout the day. We've been live all day. Flex is still live now. I'm going to jump over on there and continue the chat. But we are doing the little updates as well. So United are telling us there's no other right wingers, says Jack Brown. Anyone who wants to squeeze a win about being right about Sancho and point at Mark and the others in the 90% club know that we all have lost. Again, says Parth. Barca will have to pay Dortmund 26 million if Dembele is sold before his contract runs out. Dortmund has Man United in their hands this transfer window, says Gianfranco Calderon. Mark, have you heard from your guy in regards to Sancho, says Hayden Sweet. I'll come back to that. Why isn't that Pratt Woodward buying a centre-back instead of stuffing around with another alternative winger? Come on, how stupid can this idiot be? It's painful, says Ninja Smurf United. What if we bid 130 million in the last hour? Will it be accepted, says Mohamed Rumus. I don't think we would do that, and I don't think they would accept it. Are we trying to do a loan in the hope to get Jaden Sancho in later window? Hope this is the case, says James Murphy. United will say they're still going to try and get Sancho, but I don't think we will. We're scrambling around for a short-term fix. Here's a joke for your mate, raging about Sancho not coming now, says Philip Burtonwood. And the only positive about the Spurs result is at least De Gea is abiding by social distancing and only letting 6 in, says Buster Nut. Now is not the time for jokes. Have I spoken to my guy? Mate, I've spoken to so many people today, and you can see all... To be fair, there's on the transfer deadline day, there's very little conversation I'm having or DMs I'm getting from people that are not out there publicly anyway, because, you know, Romano and all the British journalists want to get stuff out there. The general thing is a surprise. I think the general concern, and I said this on Thursday. You know, when I spoke to this person on Thursday, I was told that however badly you think United have handled this Sancho deal, times it by 2. And obviously the joke is, I think they've handled it really badly. And he says, yeah, times that by 2. I think the general shock, and this is why Sky and, you know, James Duckers wrote about United as well. And these are people who've got good connections in the club and have to keep good connections with the club. But the general story is that everybody is very, very surprised. You know, even the journalists really close to United, they might not say it, some of them have, but everybody is just really surprised at how United have dealt with this deal, because anybody who knows football knows how Dortmund operates. When they say a price, they want that price. They won't be haggled down, they won't be bullied, and they'll control the transfer. And United have tried to play a transfer like they've never known Dortmund do a transfer before. Oh, they can shut up. We don't believe their deadline. We don't believe their price. On the final day, they'll take the money anyway, so they'll shut up. And that basically was United's strategy. So basically, anybody you speak to in the know is like, I cannot believe that United thought this strategy would work. And the real losers here are obviously United fans, but more importantly, Jaden Sancho, whose dream was to be, he thought he would be wearing the number United 7 shirt this season. He won't be doing that. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who, you know, whether it was deserved or not, he did get us third place and he expected to be building on that. And now his dreams are in tatters. You know, the plans he had are not happening. He's lost for 2 of his first 3 games, and he's got a very hard season ahead of him without the players that he wanted. So Solskjaer is very much in that situation where he's been hung out to dry by the club and is expected to motivate a squad that isn't the squad that he wants. So that's the situation there. Do you see parallels with Sancho and Bruno? Like with Bruno signed him in January, could we sign Sancho next window or January, or will Sancho never now? I would say Sancho never now. I would never believe it until they held the shirt up. I said the same about Bruno though. I said that's it will never happen now. So, you know, what do I know? But I think other clubs would come in for Sancho now. I think Sancho will be very pissed off because although he wants to play for United and he wants to play for these fans, it is Man United and Ed Woodward who've messed it up. And anger, when he realises that he can't do this and he's got to go back to Dortmund and he calms down, he'll focus his anger on Ed Woodward and co. That's what. And why would he want to come to that club then as well? Plus we might be in the Europa League next year. He won't come to a club in the Europa League. So I think that's it. I think it's over. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, by the way, because that subscriber counter is wrong. We're only 100 away from 864,000. So please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner to do that. And go to the homepage, because I'm going to pop over onto the Flex stream now and have a bit of a chat there. So we are live all the way through until just after 11 o'clock tonight. And we will be doing little update videos. I've done one on Ahmad Traore, Dembele, and now Sancho. And at some point, we'll be doing Tellez and Cavani official. And at some point, I think we'll be doing Dembele official. So subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner, and pop over onto the homepage to the Transfer Deadline Day stream. And I'll see you there in a minute or so. Thanks for watching. Speak to you in a bit.